Hello, 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 guys.
Oh my gosh, hello, 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 hello. It is exciting today. And we have, drum roll please, K-Heads! Salutations to you too. K-Heads is first. Whoop, whoop.
That's awesome. DJ, hope you're doing well. Staying cool over there.
Indeed, it's a little bit warm over there, DJ and Pedigree Monkey. Oh, you say first. You know, sometimes I bet you were first too, Pedigree Monkey. You get it. Whoop, whoop. There you go. I bet you were first too. And Robbie, Sir Robbie, I hope you are well.
Oh, Joni
Miss
Murphy.
Joni
So good
Murphy,
to see you.
good to see you. Scott, hello. Lorraine Weber. Oh my gosh, our xenomorphet. Big hugs. She just went through an ordeal. We're all gonna just baby her and send her soothing vibes. There's our Israel. Miss Dana Green and Christine Love. How's that puppy? Quintras 82. Keith Vildon. Hey, good to see you, Vildon.
Yes, much love to all you beautiful people. Beloved KK in the house as well. Oh, yeah.
Can you say spoiled?
Yes, the chickens are very spoiled. They just got some new toys we're going to go put in. We just got a big 5-pound box of like mealworms. They love them. That's like their favorite thing. They love those little worms.
And they have some of the best branches to fly on and play on and all kind of stuff. Miss Susan Donahue, good to see you. Evening. She says, good evening from San Francisco coast. Well, I bet you it's beautiful there. Very beautiful.
Oneness is over in San Francisco too.
Oh my gosh, Israel. Thank you so much. We appreciate that very much. You guys are incredible. All of your support, and we're just so lucky to have so many of you. All of you guys in our lives. I mean, not like literally like on the YouTube live, but in our lives, like literally in our lives.
No, we honestly love you guys. We honestly love you. It's deep felt affection.
Yes, DJ. They make chicken toys, and
They do.
And I did a homemade one, and I got a couple because they like to peck at stuff, and we got some little balls that they peck and they swing back and forth, and some other things they peck, and little mealworms fall out. I mean, it's becoming a chicken paradise. Thank you to Miss Carmadoc. She's an angel.
Yes, we love her too. Lee Thomas from the road. Lee, I wonder where you are going through at this point in time. Boy, I do love the road. I am such, I guess I'm a road warrior in some ways. I love it. It just feels so good to get out there and, just be driving and keeping out your eyes on all the craziness.
Yes, and we have Danville, Kentucky in the house. Never been there, but I have a feeling it's interesting.
Kentucky's beautiful, gorgeous state. We have so much, beauty in this country, and I only speak about the U.S. because that's most of what I've seen. I haven't been to Europe, I haven't been to Asia, haven't been to Africa, but we've done energy work on people from all those places.
Those places you can't go. Well, yeah, places you can't go. Hi, places you can't go. We were just talking about places we do go.
Yes.
We want to go.
Jen and the Birds. Hope Chippums is doing well.
Oh my gosh, Bavaria, Germany. Wonderful. How fun is that?
I would love to go, and absolutely.
Yes, we'll look you up when we get there.
Absolutely. So it's awesome to see everybody.
We're going to do a world tour, and if we can someday, if we ever get like rich, we'll do a world tour, and we're coming to see every single one of you guys.
That would be awesome. I would definitely love to. It's kind of like my hope and intent that as we shed the dark control matrix and we see Earth being free, that will no longer have any fear of, traveling freely or have to go through all the rigmarole and all this. And, just that we could see freedom on our planet and see people just breathing easy and doing the things that they want to do.
Isn't that what we would all like? We would all like just to take a deep breath, to feel fulfilled and to feel at peace, and know that there's something that you want to do. Like, we should be excited to get up in the morning and go do something. And this world can be so treacherous. It can really put a damper on that excitement of getting out of bed. It's more like lately for a lot of folks we've been talking to. It's almost like they're getting pile drived into the earth frequency wise. It feels very targeted with some of the brightest light workers out there right now. And if you guys are having a hard time, you are not alone. Just want you to know that. Heartfelt, big hugs. It's tough out there.
Oh, I'm glad to hear Chipums is doing better. Yes, we've worked on birds. So we worked on Jen's Chipums, and we've worked on cats, we've worked on dogs, we worked on horses, a lot. Actually, I mean, I had a couple of times, honestly, where I think it's almost like reanimated a bird that looked dead, but it could have been stone. Just
Like
kind
you
of.
had a rock.
Yeah, it crashed into a window and wasn't moving. I had that happen more than once. And I do think we have amazing healing power. That's what we do. But I mean, all people have it inside. It's typically dormant in most people unless there's extreme circumstances. And yeah, miracles. This is the age of miracles. It really, really is.
So I just want to say a side note. Working on animals is like the best way to do things energetically because I love it. They just receive. You don't have to work through energetic blocks with animals. They usually do not have any because they don't have a belief system. They just feel the love and they appreciate it. And they stay in that state, which makes it very easy to work on animals.
Cindy put together a new wand. We'll show you a picture. It's something she's been working on, and so for a year, yes, absolutely. She had another one that just disappeared. It was really odd, but honestly, that's another topic for another show because I do think that the dimensions are getting squished, and I think a lot of beings that used to be totally oblivious to us, or maybe mostly oblivious to us, can see us now, and we're starting to see them more and more as the dimensions are coming together. And this is going to be part of our going back to the time of myth and legends, and literally everybody's going to be seeing these mythological, quote unquote, creatures and beings. I think it's just going to be the norm. It's going to be pretty wild. It would be cool to see a unicorn or maybe a phoenix or something else.
Oh yes, and with the wand, I mean everything happens for a reason. So this wand that I made, I mean it comes with a small user manual because it does different things depending on which way you point it. But I do have part of it opens and closes portals, and it can create blocks, but it can also dissolve blocks. And then the other side definitely amplifies healing and opens doorways for people, and then the rest of it is about working on your chakras. So it has a little user's manual, but I like it. It has chambers inside, and inside of those chambers I have little things, so it's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah. And then Kim,
well, we did so to test it out, because I got to test it out and make sure it's really effective. We were working on someone, and I had the selenite side of the wand was pointed at we were working on removing blocks, energy blocks. And when it was funny, we were on the phone, and whenever I moved the selenite, you could hear this on the phone.
Yeah,
it
like
was
the
weird, like the
frequency.
energy, you could hear the frequency. And boy, thank goodness she woke up the next day and she felt so much better, and there was no pain. So I'm happy about that.
It was a case where for years, chronic worsening knee pain. And so, totally gone. This type of thing can happen. Again, it does depend on the higher self and what's really the cause of the issue, because a lot of pain and chronic conditions are trapped emotions. This is why energy work works, because the energy work, it can help you to understand what you need to understand, dissolve that energy, and then the condition goes away. It depends on the person and where you are and what you've realized so far. So it's just really amazing, and it really lifts us up so much to be able to help people and show others how to do it too. So thank you, Jen, for all that. We love you and the birds, and also John as well. I wanted to bring your attention to this because this blew my mind. I had just briefly shown this and didn't even really mention, I don't know if I mentioned once, enter your email here to subscribe for updates. This is at evolutionaryenergyarts.com. There's also going to be a website on EEARTS. There's a lot of expansion going on behind the scenes right now. And we've already had like 1,100 plus people sign up for the email list. So we plan on developing a lot more that's going to be independent of having to go through like YouTube, Rumble, Brightium, BitChute, because there's obviously, there's issues with everything. Again, there's a lot of people that follow us on Patreon. About 1,100 follow on Patreon in total. And again, there's everybody here on YT. And we're going to try to do our best. We have some younger blood that's helping us, that's really very organized, technical, computer savvy. So, thank you so much, dear. We're going to keep her anonymous, but yes, our dear friend.
Our dearest Earth Angel. And we have a few Earth Angels in our life. And we really appreciate all of your guys' support in all ways. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
I think it's very serious what this dimensional merge is doing, and I think we should have just a live talking only about the dimensional merge. As you can see by all the tabs, we have a lot of stuff to cover. This was the video we did on Heart's Ohm. If you aren't subscribed to Heart's Ohm, it's our newest channel on YouTube. And it was something that the guides really wanted me to get across today. They really wanted me to tell you guys about this. And do check it out. It's all about how you could turn cleaning into a magical protection ritual. And literally, as you're cleaning away dust, dirt, and germs, you're also cleaning away parasites and literally demonic forces and these nasty little things that are always trying to torment and torture us.
Oh, yes. When you clean with that intention, especially with the energies that we have going on these days, it counts. It really, really counts, and it matters, and it will change your life.
So please do check it out over on Heart's Ohm. And again, it's also everything is on Patreon. I forgot to share this from weeks ago. This is from our dear beloved Anna up in Ohio.
Disappeared.
It's as you can see, that was another orb disappearing into the clouds. There's just so many sightings everywhere, and I think most of you guys can sense when there's something benevolent or something not so nice. The encounters, they're just through the roof. There's so many people seeing so many things at this time.
Yeah, we have a lot of folks that, we sent stuff in, and we just have not been organized to get all of it up there, but we are going to have a website, and it's going to be much better. So thanks for hanging in there with us, and do send us your videos. We are working on getting organized so we have them for shows like this, because I think people really need to know that they're not alone in the sightings or alone in the universe, and sometimes just seeing someone else's experience is really grounding.
It is. There's so much to all of this, and it's just part of the big awakening, which is really exciting because, man, there are so many people awakening. It's going to just shift the paradigm to this point where we literally are shifting our entire frequency. This right here says, do you understand what happened to your right to protest? The FBI just invented a new domestic extremism category called anti-tech violent extremism. And it doesn't exist in any public documents. Wired got, and this, I checked on this. And it is it's out there. Photographing a data center is now officially suspicious behavior in Virginia. Fusion centers are surveilling town halls where residents complain about water. 61% of Americans believe AI is going to destroy more jobs than it creates. And even MTG says, how dare, snapped, how dare the peasants complain. She's actually even come straight out and said, why aren't you guys in full blown rebellion now? Don't you realize what's happening? But here, this is from Brave, and yeah, absolutely, they're on the lookout for people that are going to be speaking up against these AI data centers. We know what they're doing. I mean, they're going to suck so much water out of the system. We're already seeing it. It's at a time where we always get lectured by them about our behaviors. Meanwhile, as we know, they fly around on private jets, lead extravagant lives, contribute more. Each one of these billionaires is I would estimate they may be creating as much pollution as maybe small towns or more, probably more. Just that one person. And of course, now we're not going to. This is where the UK was heading, and they've arrested like 10,000 people for speaking up against the government in the UK. It's just insane.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's starting here too. I've been seeing bleeding little trickling videos in where people are getting questioned for their posts on Facebook here in the US. So it's starting to happen, and it starts to happen with a little bit of normalization where they come and they usually do things after hours, sometimes even in the dark, so that you can't, the other neighbors are not watching, and so they can just do things in solitude. It's coming down the pipes, you guys, and I think we all need to have something within us that says, no, I'm not going to cross that line, because if you have your boundary now, that's going to make it a lot easier down the road when things push comes to shove and they want you to do something. You just be like, no, and then drop it and then move on. And you know what, I think that's at that point, that's where maybe we start going to other places and coming together when it gets to be too much, and just working together. Because I hate to say it, but it's true, until we're really uncomfortable, I don't see us really coming together and working together the way we need to. I think we're all doing everything we can given the individual situations that we're in, but it's not enough to change things. So I think the universe is going to push us just enough to make it uncomfortable so that we do things. And it's okay. That's what life is for. You got to get uncomfortable sometimes to move, or you just don't move.
I see we have an Elena sighting. It's good to see her there.
Did I see Tori?
Was Tori? I didn't see. I didn't notice.
Oh, I didn't notice. Sorry.
So we had two magnitude 6.0 earthquakes hit the western India Antarctica ridge. These were curious because they banged out like really quickly together. Exactly 6.0. Just always, to me, a little bit extra curious when you're down in the region there. Here they are. Yeah, they were literally 10 minutes apart. Literally 10 minutes apart. 10 minutes and 7 seconds. Very, very, it just hits as a little strange. 10 kilometers depth, both of them. And remember, there was that 6.9 in Chile. So, it feels like it has to have something to do with the release of energy in Chile, the 6.9 that we had. Let's go and let's see all the significant ones in the last 30 days. Now, they're not calling those significant, which is curious. I don't know why they wouldn't call those significant. Yeah, there's other 6.0s that they do call significant. That just hits me as a little weird, too. So it's a little unusual to see the energy move that way. But it could happen. Anything could happen. And when you look at some of these, because these are all the 6.0s, and we had in the last 30 days again, well, the more major ones, we had that 6.7 up in Japan, like straight across from the Chile one, on that diagonal there. It just feels like there's something big brewing, does it not? I know Stefan Burns went with a title that was something like "The major ones are almost here," or "They're coming, brace yourselves," type of thing. There's been a lot of activity, and there's some activity like over in Campi Flegrei and over in the Mediterranean that seems to be building. I think a lot of volcanic activity we've been talking about as well. And then the flooding and everything. It's just non-stop. So, yeah, two 6.0s really within 10 minutes in the same area. It's just kind of strange. That's all. Just kind of odd, but there's a lot of odd things. And this person says this was one of the most insane thunderstorms I've ever seen. This Davis, California, half-inch of rain in 5 minutes. Temperatures dropped over 20 degrees from 70s to the high 40s. But the reality is we've seen worse than that. I mean, we've had 12 inches of rain in some spots in literally a couple hours. That's just insane. Oh, KK, our beloved dear over there.
Thank you so much, KK. We definitely appreciate that, my dear. I saw an interesting comment. I saw Tori did come in. Good to see you. So glad you could make it. We haven't lost internet just yet, Tori, but a lot of people, there's a lot of weird stuff happening to people. And then
our internet's been weird, though.
Our internet has been really wonky, but where was that? Martine said he was on I think it was a Martine, said he was on an AI he was on a watch list because he doesn't want AI garbage. And isn't that another way they just want to single us out? If we don't want something, suddenly we're labeled anti blah, 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 whatever, anti, instead of pro something. I mean, pro is a more positive sounding word. They have to call us anti something. So sorry about that, Martine. That's really kind of cruddy, but I'm glad that you're taking a stand.
Well, I want to say we're pro-life, we're pro-humans, we're pro-animals, plants, we're pro-water. You need water.
Yeah.
We don't need all this, AI infrastructure. And again, most people think it's just simply to monitor us, but I think there's way more than that. That's like one of the farther down the totem pole lists there. Here you go. Think there's any connection. Chemical tank in Washington, state of Washington, ruptured at a paper processing plant, causing deaths and injuries. Yeah, and literally, how many of these chemical plants, how many of the gas and oil facilities, do you see it's a pattern. How can you not see the connections? Here you have at least one dead, 9 people missing. That means there could be 10 lost lives. Paper mill, Longview, Washington. If you've ever been by a paper mill, it's not a pleasant thing.
Oh my gosh, they smell just as bad as a giant cow farm. I mean, they smell awful.
I think that's the worst smell I could think
and
of.
I think, and it's like from 10, 15 miles out, you can smell those things. Ugh. And they complain about cows. I mean, these things give cows a good name, because cows, I like cow smell. I like horse smell. Animals smell good. These paper things, they don't smell good. They're just ew.
Multiple people again injured, including 1 firefighter, 8 employees. All were hospitalized. Authorities said some victims had suffered burns or inhalation injuries. The severity of the injuries ranged from minor to critical. Recovery efforts remain complex due to ongoing safety concerns at the site. While originally believed to contain about 80,000 gallons, officials now report the tank held about 900,000 gallons of white liquor. That's what they call it. Again, used to process, trees and turn them into paper. They say 90,000 gallons of material may remain inside the damaged tank. Currently, the tank remains unstable. Wait, doesn't that remind you of Garden Grove? It sure does. No coincidence here. I mean, they're, 2 different places, but they are on the same coast. Currently, the tank remains unstable, creating hazardous conditions for emergency personnel. Responders are continuing efforts to structurally reinforce and stabilize the site before additional recovery operations can safely proceed. White liquor is a chemical compound consisting of sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfide. It's commonly used to treat pulp and break it down before turning it into paper. There's no immediate threat to the surrounding community, but they ask the public stay clear of the area. And the company is called Nippon Dynawave Packaging Company. And they've actually mobilized the Washington National Guard civil support team to help with it. And they are on site. The facility employs about 1,000 people. Dates all the way back to 1953. Makes material for tissues, printing paper, cups, plates, cartons, and other goods. It's in an industrial zone shared by other timber and chemical companies. Yeah, it's just been too many of them. This is giving you an idea where it is. Nippon Dynaware. There's Longview, Washington. And then we have over in Cheyenne, Wyoming. When I was looking at this reminded me of one that developed in Utah. There was the fire that looked almost like identical buildings and everything. At first I thought it was a duplicate, but this is Cheyenne. That was Utah. So yeah, this was in an apartment complex under construction. Strong winds are rapidly spreading the flames. What's going on? Because remember, again, we've had so many different ones of these issues. Remember going all the way back to East Palestine. You remember that? And the toxic debris, cloud, water, everything that was released. And over here, what do we have? We have dead fish everywhere. Atlanta just poisoned a river. Thousands of massive fish dead. 20 to 30 pound bass, carp, stripers floating belly up for 20 miles downstream of Peachtree Creek. The Chattahoochee River is literally choking on raw sewage, storm runoff, and decades of neglect in Atlanta that they're blaming on the left again. It goes a little bit deeper than that, but absolutely, it's the whole system. It's just horrible what we're witnessing. I remember when I reported on the red tide when I was living in Florida, and it was horrible. It burned your lungs. Every time I get out of my apartment there, just to go into the truck, it burned my lungs. It was so hard to be around. It caused you to feel horrible. And so the oxygen levels here have dropped and fish are dying. You think that somebody's trying to take away our food supply? I mean, I do. You think somebody's trying to take away our energy? I think so.
No, it definitely looks a little bit weird. And Jeannie in there says, make hemp paper. Well, wow, what a concept. What if we really did use Earth's resources to take care of her and take care of us too? Because we live in an ecosystem and it could be absolutely perfect if only, those beings that are unable to hold their form lately, they're losing their masks, these reptilians, these Dracos, these beings from another planet. If they would just go away, and it's like we're just not big enough, we're not strong enough to stop them because they're up and above and they have a control. They have like this. They rule with an with an iron fist right now, and it's horrible because we can't really do anything except work with our money. Be very careful where you spend your money. Spend your money on 5D things. Spend your money on different types of things that do not just locally. Spend it on people that do it to better the planet, and that's what we have to do. Because I think that's within our power. Sometimes we have to reel it in and say, okay, we can't do too much. It's not like I can leave my home and actually go to a protest. I can't do that. But I can stay home and just be very careful where I direct my money.
See, we've had quite a few more people join us. Great to see you all again. Running the gauntlet. Good to see you as well. Robbie was talking about a super tick. Yeah, they've obviously been modified. I think they are trying to create super ticks. It wouldn't surprise me if they tried to make them the size of German shepherds at some point in time. Nothing would surprise me. the only reason they're still in power is because people like us, we're peaceful. We're just simply peaceful. We really don't want all the death, destruction, the conflict. We want to rise above all the things that they utilize to separate us. And in some ways, it's good for them that we are peaceful, but at the same time, they are certainly not. And this again, it's on both sides. The two wings of the one bird. Oh, and the deer's here out in the front window. I forgot to put corn out for him though. So far, it's been an interesting day. Let's see. Is it reconnecting?
Reconnecting, hopefully.
Banish the demons.
Staging now.
Banish the demons.
Oh, God.
Be gone, demons. Leave this place. We could actually do that, couldn't we? We should put that intent out there. That's where that video came from, because I do think if we work on cleaning our environment, keeping it as clean as possible, work on cleaning our diet, our nutrition and everything. We both. I mean, Cindy, I'm so proud of her. She got done doing a 3-day fast with me. And see if this has reconnected. Can you guys hear us? Can you somebody tell me that you can hear us? Jen, can you hear us? Robbie? Just want to verify. So, yeah. Yes. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, again, reconnection is successful. Okay, thank you. There's certain things they don't want you to see. Suffice it to say that I feel like what's going on right now in this poor country is really what could go on for the entirety of the world if certain entities have their way. That's really, it's just what we saw in GAZA. It's the same thing. There's no way you can justify this. None of us want this. Nobody wants this. It's just the very few. The only ones that want this are those that are heavily invested in the military-industrial complex and are completely self-centered.
I know, and Martin made another funny comment in there. I don't want to say it out loud, but
exactly.
That's it exactly, and a couple other people. I mean, you guys know exactly what's going on. So sometimes
they would roll from one country to the next, to the next, to the next. If people don't do anything, that's what they're just gonna do.
Yeah, and we don't deserve to live in a world like that. We deserve to live in a world where we feel safe, where we are at peace, where we can come together and just, explore our dimension. But we just have to keep going. There's no easy exit out of this. There's just not that I'm aware of.
And then I forget who mentioned it about internet, but here they're putting this out on RT. Could Iran literally cut off the world's internet access? They're only putting it out there because that's probably what they plan to do. They don't want to do it forever. But again, they're going to bank that people will get desperate. And yeah, it's going to suck when we can't check in with you guys. It's really going to suck. I do think it's coming. I don't think it's going to be all the time. They can't do that and maintain control. They still need to maintain control. And the internet is part of that. But here you go. They're just telling you why it's going to happen. This is for the history books. This is why we're going to look back and say, remember that big outage over here? Remember that big outage over there? Remember the mother lode outage? Well, remember they told us, it could be because of the war and stuff. It says Iran's push to tax Strait of Hormuz undersea cables shows how they're becoming a new front in pressure tactics. Again, it's just a slow roll with the war thing. They always they know how far to push. It's just like fishing. And then, if you pull too hard, you're going to break that line. You just got to ease it a little bit, then pull a little bit harder. Meanwhile, what is happening is that it's really just ruining the world's economy. And this is in order to install a new monetary system. We all know that. And while they're doing it, they need excuses to install new tech to watch everybody even closer. And then, those that don't go along, they'll try to literally make you homeless. And, many of our followers are already homeless. That's the reality.
And it's not right. And it just shouldn't be that way. And people are struggling to pay their bills. And thank you. Thank you so much, Mario. We appreciate that.
Mario, thank you. Much, much love for all you guys again. Israel, Mario, KK, everybody here. Thank you guys so much. I'm watching the numbers change because, again, they always finagle and everything. And I never trust anything that they give us. Nothing. Here was a statement that he made, 47. The headline is Trump threatens to bomb U.S. ally, sparking confusion in a wild cabinet meeting. There's a lot of stuff out there. If you look at like Drudge Report, focusing yesterday, they were just trying to focus on his health. They're trying to zero in on that. Of course, we talked about Biden's senility and the fact, the reality is there was more than one Biden. It's all just a loosh machine. We understand that. But we also understand that, what they put out there is usually going to kind of manifest in some way, shape, or form if they're able to. So, they were talking about the strait being open to everybody. Trump said before being asked who would control it, nobody's going to control it. We'll still watch over it. Trump then turned his attention back to Oman, threatening to attack the country. Oman will behave just like everybody else, or we'll have to blow them up. They understand that. They'll be fine. What person in their right mind just says those things? It's either like he's saying it in a way that's meant to get people aggravated, scared, what have you, developing more hatred and dislike for him, than is already there. There's also the possibility that, he's kind of saying what it is because he's not really in control, and this is just, I don't know, it's just a mess. I don't think there's a good politician in the world, honestly. Some better than others. Same thing with countries. I don't think there's really any country that doesn't have a pretty significant level of corruption. We know there's very few countries that don't have a red shield banking system. There was, over a dozen at one point, but it's just that number keeps going down, 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 down. Meanwhile, the system's level of corruption is worse than most people could have ever conceived. A former senior CIA officer has been arrested on massive fraud, stealing 300 gold bars, secretly stashing them worth $40 million, and using his position to do so. They all use their position. There's very few of them. I can't say every single one, but, the majority take advantage of where they are. This is about the thing that's come up now with, should Congress be able to really utilize insider trading to make millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, because they know what's going on where other people don't have a clue? It's certainly not fair, but this is the problem. The political system globally needs to be, it's not fixable. It all needs to go. We need to come up with new ways of thinking about things.
We do. It's just about changing our pattern, changing our frequency at 111 watching. That's funny. Yeah, we gotta just do differently. So everything we're doing is we have to stop, kind of record how you're doing everything right now. Because if your life is not going in the direction that you want it to exactly, you need to stop and record everything that you're doing and change it. Because even just changing one small daily habit can change your frequency, which can then change the direction in which your life is going. And all of us, we all need to do that. We all need to sit down, because the world at large, we don't like it. We don't like it. If we don't like something, we have to figure it out. And it is within our being, our soul, and our mind, and our spirit to do that.
The thing is, the system was devised to do exactly what it's doing. So, from our point of view, it's broken. From the control system's point of view, it's functioning perfectly. This is Tirana Biosciences. They say right here, RNA technology for plant health. First comprehensive RNA platform for agriculture. Tirana fuses nature's intelligence with machine intelligence to generatively design versatile RNA-based solutions for every aspect of plant health, from seed to stem. You could keep it. And as I brought that up, everything's locking up. So hang on a second, and I hope you guys could, again, let me know if you hear me.
I know. We're gonna try to unlock things here. Hopefully we can get it done. I know we're covering stuff that they just absolutely despise. And it started, when? As soon as the video started, as soon as we get on here. I think we put out there as much love and peace as we possibly can, and that's just what the system absolutely hates. Does not like that, because without hatred and disdain and
okay, well, I see you guys can still see it. It looks like it's still going.
Without all that hatred, they have nothing. So they definitely don't like what we do.
No, I mean, and if they change it so we can't move this, we'll just keep going along and talk about some things. There we go. Okay, now they're letting it go. So they don't want you knowing about Tirana Biosciences, so make sure you check it out. In other words, it's again putting that certain technology into the food, even food that's not going to be labeled GMO. It's just, you might think you have organic, and yet it could be manipulated. The genes could be manipulated. We all know what they're doing. They're manipulating our, G period, E period, N period, E period. And with the express hope of trying to be able to totally control us. Just like robots on a remote controller. They want the remote controller. They want us to be, like zombies in the apocalypse, or members of the Borg that they can control. This is really their bottom line there. Americans are about to pay even more at the grocery store for food that's not even that healthy in the first place. This is just the reality. Yeah, because we haven't seen it yet. The prices haven't caught up yet with the situation. And here you go. They're talking about El Nino weather patterns only going to add to pressures into 2027. They're warning you. The polar psychic Christoph was talking that this is going to take 8 years, is what he sees. He sees 8 years that we're going to be in a very, very tough way, economically challenging. The Great Depression, it really lasted until World War II broke out. So 1929 until 1941. And then we had the war situation. Yeah, it's going to be a challenging time. I don't think that it has to be that long. I think we could definitely shut things down as far as their progress and their plans. It all depends on people waking up. I've never felt poor before. Inflation and higher gas prices are stretching workers to the limit. It's a person that makes over $100,000 a year. She's a nurse practitioner, always made six figures for most of her time now. But she has worked 2 jobs and stuff, and she cannot make ends meet. That's just ridiculous. Feeling like she's not even in the middle class at this point in time. Well, again, this is part of what we've already been told. They've told us exactly what they're doing. We're not going to own anything. They want to own everything and have us own nothing. They want us to be slaves, completely economic slaves, and that's already been in place for a long time. They're pulling that leash in tight, real tight. Here, I remember this speech. I've talked about it many times. And I've had issues with playing this. Klaus, who, promises the new WEF recruits Their avatar will live on after death. Their brains will be replicated through AI and algorithms. But that's not your soul. You're not your body. It's like they only can function if people are ignorant of who they really are.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. It's just been kind of a rough ride lately, and thank you very, very much. We appreciate your support there. Sci-Fi 767 says, appreciate your perspective. Much love to all. That's nice. Thank you.
Yeah, Robbie was saying about tea tree and peppermint. Both of them should repel ticks. One of my things I do is I take a tea tree bath. I've made that a practice because I feel it gets rid of a lot of anything that's nasty that might be creepy crawly on you after working out in the yard. There's lots of things, but we've used just about everything you could possibly think of, and they still seem to pop out of nowhere. And that's something that I think is real too. Them popping out of nowhere, popping out of 4D, the lower astral, just above us, into 3D. I'm convinced that that's happening. Totally convinced. Strange things approaching. Over the last 2 weeks, have you been feeling symptoms of fatigue, headaches, pessimism, loss of appetite? It's not just in human energy. Strange weather phenomenon. Yeah, everybody's, again, picking up on this. There is this heavy oppressive feeling that comes out. They are, without a doubt, sending through your Wi-Fi router and, through the big towers, et cetera, the frequency of just pessimism, doubt, plain old fear, anxiety, anger. They are trying to cultivate that because, again, we have so much power inside of us, and our emotions literally feed certain entities that do the bidding of, again, the dark control matrix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is a very dark control matrix that we live in, and it's just, I don't know what to say. We just keep on and keeping on, and I see some of the best, kindest people just really flat out get picked on in some way, shape, or form. And what they're doing now, it's mostly electronically. Just making phone calls not go through, or, just irritating things, or messages not go through. I had a message from someone this morning when I got up, and it was a nice message. And then I saw it like before I unlocked my phone, and then I unlocked my phone and it was gone. It was just gone, and it was a nice message. And what's that about? That message just never showed up. And had I not seen it before I unlocked my phone, I would not have known that person said something nice to me.
Yes, and Lucid Farms, talks about thick rubber boots, the tall mucking kind, and birds running around your property. Well, again, I would love to get some guinea fowl. We're going to see if we could get some. I really do think that we need more here because, we've taken... between Cindy, me, and the dogs, I think we've been bit 20 times this week. I want to say probably close to that.
I think so. And the reaction. These bugs are not normal. They're just not normal. Something has changed.
Yeah, I think they've been amplified. I think they're constantly being amplified, just like the weather. This from Study Find says half of Americans say the fun in their lives has disappeared. Wow. Again, I wonder, a lot of different details about this. But again, this is kind of what they're doing. We've literally had some of our family members saying, I literally have been getting the impression that at times it's almost like you're living in a hellish reality here. Are we literally going through the hellish realms on our way to the heavenly realms? I think in some ways we are. Absolutely, because the lower fourth density is known as a hellish realm. In the astral, the lower fourth density is where like the worst types of entities are. We got to go into that lower fourth to move on up into the higher parts of the fourth realm, the fourth density. where we will see and encounter a lot more of the magical type of beings and everything from our mythology. Again, we are heading into the times that are a lot like Tolkien's Middle Earth, things like hobbits and, things like gnomes and fairies and sprites and being able to see elementals. The elementals are there, just most people haven't been able to see them. Now more people are seeing them all the time. We're heading into a really cool adventure. The only problem is we got to go through some of the worst territory that there is to get there, and that's what we're feeling right now. 48% of Americans say their lives are currently lacking in fun. 12% can't recall the last time they had a full free day to enjoy themselves. Money is the biggest obstacle, 57% citing budget constraints as top barrier, followed by packed schedules, work obligations, and general burnout. Adults who do make time for fun report real payoffs. 72% says it reduces their stress. 57% feel more motivated. 89% say shared fun strengthens their relationships. On average, adults who feel fun deprived say they would need about 17 hours per week to change that. And where we're heading into now with everything that's been going on, it shows that it's going to get tougher for a little while before it gets better, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to say we have a unicorn purple in the house. Good to see you. So glad you dropped in. And I just wanted to point out, Peter made an interesting comment about his pet is changing. She doesn't want to go outside. Our pets know. Our pets know, and with Rama and Sita, I wipe them down with certain oils before we go outside. And, for dogs are sensitive and it's stinky to them. But you know what? They come up to me and then they just stand there and they're so good about it because I think they know it's about the bugs and they don't want to bring any bugs in. It's like they just know. I mean, isn't that the sweetest thing? That is just... to me, to watch them, like they walk up to me and just stand there. They stand there and they let me wipe them down with the oils. And when I first realized, and this was actually, they started doing this last year, when Mike had the emergency surgery. And we really attributed that to the tick bites because they were so horrible last year and the reaction on his body was just not normal. And 4 days later, he was in the ER. And there was nothing we could do. We had to follow through with the surgery as much as we're against it. It was like, and after that, it's like the dogs, it's almost like they knew. They would walk up and they just stood there until I was done, even though it was really stinky and they don't like it. They did it anyway. That's love,
That is. And I just had to go throw a couple of scoops of corn out for the deer because it breaks my heart. And they come in with these big eyes and they want to be fed and they're used to us feeding them.
Are about to burst.
Oh yeah, we do have some mamas that are about to burst. They're so big. It looks like they're gonna have like 4 or 5. I don't know how many deers have.
UFO on this one? Sorry.
I don't have it up. But yeah, we did have a sighting ourselves that we're gonna share with you guys. It's pretty wild. We had a real wild night a couple of nights ago. If you guys remember the whatever that thing was, the entity that came in, the shadowy entity came in back-to-back days. It actually came in more than that. So we still have had encounters with that entity, which seems to be some sort of natural protector associated with the mounds that are right by us, because we live in an area with some, actually they got plaques up, talking about the native mounds that are here. It was a sacred area. Where we are, it's actually a vortex area too. Again, it runs through a lot of the Arklamis area. And yeah, it's pretty wild. This property is really active with paranormal type things, which just is another dimension. But we did watch, I don't know, some sort of either drone, definitely you could say UFO, UAP. We watched it. It looked like it landed. It actually looked like it came down and landed. If you go like diagonal from us, there's a 150-acre farm with a lot of cows and donkeys and everything. And it looked like it landed over there. I hope that there was no cattle mutilations.
I know. I mean, I I didn't mean to, but I chuckled under my breath, realizing where it had landed. I mean, it's like, whoa, isn't that just par for the course? Is this another movie in the making? Are they going to wake up to some poor creature that lost its life in the morning? I don't know. I hope all the cattle are okay, but it was weird. It was very weird. And we saw some lights flashing before that and other lights flashing after. And even in the video, it had... And then we had a power outage after that too. But even in the video, there's like this little light up further to the right of the UFO that was landing, and it was just sitting there, like it was kind of blinking. Yeah. But you can't really. It was like talking to it, like sending a signal, like guiding it in or something. But you can't really see it because it's so darn grainy. But you can still see the UFO landing though.
Yeah, and it did look like it landed. And what was weird is we had a power outage, that night, and then another power outage. So that was really odd, very odd. And and then there's been like odd accidents too, truck accidents and things. It just feels really weird lately. Well, weird. William Neil McCasland, as you know, vanished. This was a Air Force general that was like one of the top guys relating to UFOs and UAPs. He vanished on February 27th. We still don't know. It's now May 27th. The missing UFO-linked Air Force general had a meeting with an unidentified woman and members of Space Force just hours before he went missing. He had very classified security clearance. He was the head of Air Force Research Lab. The man's names are in the UFO documents that are fixed to be released. He was up on top-level clearance. So was he scooted away? Because Cindy was getting the feeling that he was maybe in a cell or something, or being kept somewhere, maybe in an underground facility. But she couldn't see anything else. It's, again, a lot of times they use other psychics and different types of frequency to keep it so you can't remote view and see clearly what's going on. Is he working on something? There's a lot more going on than meets the eye with, again, giving us disclosure at this point in time. We have, what do you see? When people see stuff and they don't want to think that there's aliens out there, they just say it's all blue beam. It's all blue beam. It's just all holograms. It's nothing real. That is the biggest psyop going. In my mind, it's like by putting that out there, that it's going to be a fake alien invasion, which, again, I think they might fake an alien invasion. But if they put it out there themselves that there's a fake alien invasion, then when you see real aliens, you probably will think it's fake. You know what? Do you get that point? I know you guys do.
It's all backwards. So whatever the mainstream is saying or whatever they're putting out there that is popular, turn that around. And, Unicorn Purple, I forgot to mention about that video that we got as far as the graininess. Like, our cameras are not that grainy in general, but it's like it created a distortion and it made it horrible to see, but you could still see it. But yeah, I think this guy has been full of a lot of extra energy. And some people, they're either not noticing much or they're noticing it a lot, depending on sensitivity, and it's kind of weird out.
Yeah, and the voice here.
That's some scary shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, is it a put on and is it AI again? This is what they've done. They've gotten us to question everything. I don't doubt that we will see ships this clearly that will be very real in the future. Yeah, some of them could be projections too. But there's just so much coming out. This is an episode of A Gray Alien in a Gentleman's Yard, and it's his voice that sounds convincing.
The damn place again tonight. Keep walking towards it.
But it could be just good acting, again. The fact that it has the cheesy music going in the background, somebody added that in. Gray alien spotted. Well, I've seen one.
All right, wherever you are, you need to leave. Stay out of this place. This is our home. is our home. Need to leave. Leave now.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, it's not just that I've seen one. I've seen one really, it was right over my bed. I've shared that with you guys many times, but I've had both my son and my daughter, who are 10 years apart, come running into the bedroom because they're terrified because they saw a gray. And that's exactly what they described. And I know Cindy, and one of Cindy's daughters, has seen a lot of strange things as well. She's gifted like her mama.
Yeah. I mean, it's something important. I think parents with children who can see, it's important that the child has support, because in a world where if you have the gift of sight and it's not understood, it can go very wrong for that person, and then it can take years and years and years to undo the trauma that can be done when a child realizes they have a gift of sight, yet there's so many others telling them they don't. There is a specific way to handle it, but it's also very individual per child.
Robbie, you picked up on J.D. Vance, James David, King James, King David, of course, and also saying that they're just demons. And really, he could be the son of Michael Aquino. I mean, he really looks it. And then when you look at that, then you look into Erica Kay, and it looks like they're coming from the same family. The three of them, really, there is some similarities, energetic and physical, that just absolutely feel legit. All these different encounters coming out of the woodwork, and I mean, you could say it. I've seen sci-fi movies in the 70s that would look just like this. So could it be a movie and it's a fake? Absolutely. And the other thing too is, you just got to feel into it. I mean, when you have the encounter yourself, then nobody can tell you anything else. When you've had the encounter yourself, that changes everything. If you haven't had an encounter, then, you still have maybe a little doubt. This is what they give us, Steven Spielberg's disclosure. Here they go. This is the first view of the alien. And then right before the alien, they have an eye of a deer. And remember the Obama thing with the deer. And then it wasn't just the Obama thing with the deer. There was another one we saw recently, that they were doing the same thing with the animals. I really wonder. I got to see if anybody had any issues with their animals over at that farm, because absolutely abductions, crop circles, you have all this going on, and the cow mutilations. Look to what's that one in Utah, the
Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's real. This is real stuff.
I know, and I know we saw that land where it landed, but what do? Do you just go and knock on someone's door and say, "Hey, a UFO landed in your field. Are your cattle okay?" You just can't say that. You just can't. I mean, you could, but
Yeah, and they have like all different types of cattle and animals over there. It's a nice place. There's so much coming out, so much revealed, so much more to go. Again, when you start putting it all together, the tridactyls in Peru, and the DNA is not us. I mean, there you go. How about the elongated heads too? The DNA is not us. The place where the spinal cord goes into the skull is in a different location. It's not Homo sapiens sapiens. There you go. I mean, your physical evidence is right there. I just don't know how people could think that there's nothing to all this, and there's no other forms of life involved. Oh yeah, there's a lot of different forms of life involved. And now that we're in the Bronze Age, a lot of people are going to be seeing it themselves, but there's also a lot of things that are out there to be purposefully debunked. Again, if they could debunk one thing, then they hope that you'll just give up the idea of looking in any more into the whole thing. And yet this very well, some sources say this is literally to promote a movie. But, it's given as a very real blip of something that comes down, a ship comes down. This is in Madura. This was in the Philippines, I think, if I remember right. Or was this Thailand? I think Thailand. But, again, they're connecting it to a movie. But then when I look at the website that supposedly it's connected to for the movie, it looks really cheesy. Like somebody could have just thrown it up in 5 minutes to try to debunk this. So, there's a very strong debunking element that were very heavily well-paid debunkers, like Snopes, for instance, and others, that, they're just out there to basically, they take money from the system to get you to think that everything's just a farce.
Well, that's why you have to look at everything, and you have to look at everything with the heart of knowing that, you could be wrong, and that's okay. We're going to make mistakes. We're all kind of learning this. We're learning this together, and, we're all just kind of holding each other's hands and walking each other home from school, just kind of talking about what we've learned for the day, or how that teacher was acting, or, what kids are in your class and what did you guys get for lunch? We're all doing that, and we're all kind of on our way home in a way. So, it's okay. It's okay to be wrong, but definitely get yourself out there and start using your discernment. Start using that intuition. That's going to be our best tool.
Absolutely. This is over Taiwan. Again, just another meteor, just another piece of rock. Or is it a ship? Or is that just meteorite falling apart? Maybe, or was that a ship just leaving something behind? Maybe, who knows what? Could be anything. There's so much of this going on now. It's just mind-blowing. So many great shots and all. This is New Mexico, May 20th. Yeah, we love New Mexico. Definitely found a lot of peace there, a lot of quiet there. There's a lot of weird things there too, and I'm not just talking about the E-Man's Ranch. There's all sorts of military and bases. You have nuclear weapons and things stored in certain areas. I do believe that there are hybrid programs underway in some of those, deep underground military bases over there in New Mexico and other places. They're connected through a huge network of tunnels.
Yeah, that looks pretty curious there. That little, fluffy looking Tic Tac.
A fluffy looking Tic Tac. Yeah. It's just awesome to just realize we're not alone. We've never been alone. You're never alone. You're sitting on the John. You're not alone. You're never alone. That's really the reality. There's just one layer of reality upon another, upon another, upon another. It's just like radio stations, on the dial. Every 16 days, mysterious radio signals are being sent to Earth from an unknown object located 470 million light years away from Earth. They say it could be a natural phenomenon. They've ruled out some things. Is it a pulsar? Is it a quasar? What's going on? And then you get these terms that they give us for things that they just basically might as well say we don't know. But they'll call it something else to try to make it look like they know, but they just don't know. Any possibility it's just intelligent beings that maybe are talking to somebody out there?
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
A massive dark pyramid buried near Mount Denali in Alaska is generating enough energy to power the entire country of Canada. So says Linda Moulton Howe. Investigators learned of underground offices at each of its three corners, actively monitoring the immense power output. One first-hand account from a military pilot's son describes his father being taken inside the structure where personnel confirmed they were measuring energy levels capable of lighting up a whole nation. That was covered in an Ancient Alien segment. When you start looking at, Linda Moulton Howe is definitely a OG. Absolutely, she's been around forever, and you appreciate the dedication to stick with it when you feel like sometimes you're talking to nobody out there and nobody hears you. It could be frustrating. It's good to know more people are hearing right now. This is a very interesting thing. And the other thing is, how about all the people that go missing in Alaska? It's just a massive number. It should be very obvious that people are being abducted for some reason, and most of them don't ever come back. They're never seen again.
No, and it's just a frightening thought to sit there and ponder, but that's the world we live in.
Yeah. Do you think your government would allow you to be literally taken off planet, never to come back again? I think so. Yeah, I don't think that they would literally have a problem with that. Okay, so what is this? Is this another AI generated piece of, or is this actually real? It looks a little too perfect of a shadow being, but again, shadow beings, I think again, it's just beings that are just in a slightly different frequency, that they don't appear solid to us, but in the realm that they're in, they may feel very solid.
Yeah, they have a body to them, but they're just in a little slightly different place.
Yeah, this video had some screaming involved, but I'll save the goosebumps. So Japan's hidden history. Oh yeah, everywhere around the world, there's signs that there's been very advanced beings here, very advanced technology. I mean, Japan has some of the really most interesting ones. They have some statues that they found that really look just like Draco in garb. Reptilian humanoid beings in like flying suits. Really, it's like uniforms. This looks like something out of, what was that cartoon? Was it a cartoon? Remember the cartoon where the kid had the giant? It looks kind of just like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks kind of interesting.
Oh, man, yeah. I can't wait till we know all the answers on everything. And why do they have the architecture that they do? It's beautiful. It's elegant. Again, I think there's many different beings on this planet that have many different homes, many different star systems, many different planets that we've come from.
Many planets.
There's old newspaper articles going back to 1913 here, explaining that every person possesses a vital battery, a true magnetic force inside your body that could be directed to increase physical strength, mental power, charisma, even emotional influence. Personal magnetism. Well, then we get into biophotons. And how could you amplify this? Could you amplify this with copper? Could you amplify it with other frequency machines? Everything. And the best way to build it in yourself that I know of is Qigong. That's just simply by consciously directing the energy, storing it in yourself like a battery. This is the practice of the immortals. That's literally what it's called in the Taoist tradition. It's the practice of the immortals. Why would they call it that? Because if you really truly become a master, you have the potential to live extremely long lifespans. There's again one documented master that supposedly lived for 256, almost 300 years. Cindy was able to contact him, and we did get that he lived that long. It was actually down there. The Chinese government sent him, happy birthday at 100, 150, 200, 250. It's documented. It's in writing. What they tell you is pseudoscience is very, very real. And thankfully, so much is being told to people at this point in time on how to utilize this for your own health and healing and how to help others.
Finally, it's getting out there. No, this magnetism is really, really cool stuff, because you can use it to help manifest things, and when it's coming from the heart chakra, you become magnetic. I mean, literally, things can come to you. That's why we teach the energy work, and we teach how to do this. And Mike has Qigong videos, and trying to get him to do lessons. At some point, we're going to do lessons. And with a good enough, if you have a good enough internet connection, we can do it through the internet. But it's a very important process that can, elongate your life and just make things a lot better for you, and things flow smoothly. And I can't tell you how many things in my life fell together when I started doing Qigong. I mean, crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yeah, I normally do, I'd say, anywhere from half an hour to an hour of Qigong a day. I did like an hour today. And I was starting to get, like, I could hear the guides. And so I'm trying to work on developing some brand new things that maybe aren't out there anywhere. Again, I feel that channeling is really the ultimate form of communication and expansion, because you're, again, getting information from higher realms. And many of our guides are residing on like 5D, for instance. And so, one of my own personal teachers, and what was so cool is I'd been able to see him in my mind's eye. And then Cindy saw him, and Cindy, told me, what, you have this one guide that wants to, talk to you, and described him. And I said, yeah, I know who that is. And, that was just such a cool thing when she verified that for me. It's always good when you get the verification that, no, you're not crazy. You're actually picking up the exact same information. And that's just a beautiful thing. But I'm trying to work on coming up with some new ways of building the field. And one was coming through today about channeling the Taurus energy in the body and circulating it. So at some point I'll have a new video up on that, which will probably, for thanks, first we'll put it up on Patreon and memberships, and then at some point in time share with everybody. Again, we thank you guys for your support. It's just a practice I've done for about 40 years almost now. It's getting to be about that period of time. Time flies as you get older. This is from 1999, a camcorder. And, is it because of the way we stored the memories that it felt like the sun was just different, the light was different, everything looked different than it does now? Or is it actually changes? Real changes. I do think the sun has changed. I think it's pretty obvious it's changed. It was a little bit more like a yellow-orange. Now that orange is kind of mostly gone. It's more like a yellow-white. And we've also gotten that it's going to keep changing. We are in a new Yuga. So we're in the Bronze Age. The entire world, your entire reality changes in each Yuga. There's a transition period, which may end up lasting hundreds of years before we're fully, truly into the Bronze Age. And we are in that transition period now. But reality is changing. We could feel it. Time is not the same. Nothing is the same. There's been huge changes. And we ourselves, our bodies, our whole energy field is changing. I believe we are getting a massive upgrade. It's like taking 110 wiring and going to make it 220. If you understand that, that's what's happening in your body right now.
Yes. So be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself, and just, do your best. Get up and just do your best every single day.
And share your blessings with others. Spread the love, spread the compassion, spread your knowledge and wisdom, and show others the way. Because, again, we need to change so many people's minds on things that they might think are impossible. They're not impossible, and it's just really a matter of time that we do have a much more peaceful reality. We do shift into those huge lifespans, like of the biblical patriarchs, a 900-year lifespan. That's possible in the Bronze Age. Maybe not quite yet, because we're just getting into it. But yeah, I really think our lives could be double what they are right now at this point. again, as soon as we stop the toxification of everything on purpose.
Indeed. So is it time for, okay, so it looks like it's time for dings. I just want to say a huge thank you to Israel, KK, Mario, Sci-Fi. You guys really help make the videos possible for us, and we appreciate that. And then I do want to send prayers out to, I think Miss Xenomorphet is healing, so please send her healing prayers, prayers to Carrie, and still to Lori and Steve, that they find the guidance that they need, and Lori can just get a little bit better and hopefully get home so that she can start feeling better, because they're not taking very good care of her where they're at, and I call it a death care system, and it's just wrong. And I really hope that Lori, gets just better enough to go home. So if we could please keep that in our minds and send energy toward those situations. And then also for yourself. So please hold your heart open, and here we go.
So, just to give you guys a little extra boost, if you just put your feet solidly on the floor and then just take a little abdominal breath and let yourself just relax, let the energy just sort of sink into your feet, feel the earth's energy below you, and we'll just draw that up with your intent and your inhale, and then exhale. Allow any excess energy to go back into the earth. Now we'll do an inhale, and we're going to draw down a violet energy from the heavens, from source, in through the crown chakra. Draw it in through the body, and then exhale and send that down into the earth. And you could sit with a little visualization of that, just following your breath and drawing up energy with one breath, exhale, and drawing down energy with the other breath, and then exhale. And you could literally start to build your Wei Qi field. This is your first line of defense against any disease, against any sort of negative frequencies. Everybody really, I know the guides want me to talk more about building your Wei Qi field so that you can resist everything that they're throwing at us, because it is definitely your first line of defense. And we will delve into that. We already have like 50 or 60 at least videos on Qigong meditations out there. Check out the playlists, but we'll be doing more as well. And I do think we'll end up at some point in time. We do have what do we connect with Wayne on? Zoom, right?
Yep.
Zoom, yeah. Maybe we'll do some sort of Zoom classes together at some time in the future. But again, just a simple little visualization like that, I mean, I really do think that practiced regularly could be the difference between life and death, and I don't kid with that. It's really, really powerful. Your consciousness is getting so much more powerful than it ever was before. The clearer we are, the stronger we can make and healthier we can make our bodies. It's only going to raise our frequency up. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may my own words, acts, thoughts, and deeds contribute to the happiness and freedom of all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you guys so much. We love every one of you guys. Namaste.